Do you ever notice how much of your life shows up by people who aren't even in the story? Like, you have an idea, you want to do something, you want to change, or you want to post a video, or start a brand, or chase something big. And the first voice that pops into your head isn't even yours. It's some imaginary audience of opinions, some crowd of people who you haven't even met yet. Some people whose names you'll never know, who honestly don't think about you nearly as much as you think they do. And somehow, those imaginary reactions hold more weight than your actual dreams. So think about it. How often do you stop yourself of whatever you want to do just because you don't want to look stupid or don't want to look dumb? Do you know how stupid I looked my first times trying it, even still now? You don't not start because you're scared of failing, but because you're scared of being seen while you're failing. It's not the fear of the act, it's the fear of the audience. And it's wild, because half of the time the audience is made up in your head. So look at me. I'm out here right now, sliding on the board, going to the pier, with people walking past, cars passing, tourists, everybody just doing their own thing, grabbing food, talking, living their own lives. And realistically, I could fall at any time. I can hit my head on the pavement, maybe not, but I could fall for sure. I'm goated, maybe not, but it's possible. And if that happened, still, 10 seconds, they might be like, oh my. And then 99% of them would forget about it before they even finish their coffee in the morning. That's not because people just, they're their main character in their own world. And you should be so in yours. So do what you want that pleases you. Because when you realize that, something shifts. It clicks that you're holding yourself prisoner for an audience that isn't even watching you. And definitely not watching you like you think they are. Because people don't analyze you the way you analyze yourself. They don't replay the awkward moments that your brain does at 2 a.m. And they really don't care enough to remember what you wore, what you said, when you put sunglasses on, or if you left them off. They literally care for a second, maybe two. Then they scroll, they walk away, they get distracted, and they go back to thinking about themselves. It's the same thing you do, it's the same thing they do. And that's the most freeing thing that you can internalize, because no one is actually keeping score. So why would you play so safely? Why would you tiptoe through your own life like the world is a museum and you're not allowed to touch anything? Why would you audition for approval from people who don't even know where your life is going? They're not you, they can't experience you. You can. You want the best for you, so make it happen and really don't care what they think. You know what the real moment is? It's the moment you stop living to be perceived and start living to be felt. The moment you realize that you're not here to be polished and digestible. You're here to be real, to be loud in your direction, and to take up space. You can do things poorly, loudly, messy, and perfectly. And you can still be proud because you'll do it as you. When I first started boarding, with upside down, stupid angles, sliding through life, like I don't know if gravity's on my side, I guarantee you, plenty of people thought, what is that dude doing? They still think that every time. And they might be right. What I'm doing could be ridiculous. And that's the thing, is everybody sees something in a different way. A lot of people say that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. Some people are like, you're so stupid. That will always happen. There will be haters, whether you do nothing with your life or whether you chase everything. And you know what I realized? First, make sure I can still go straight. I would rather be the person they remember for being weird and free than someone who they forgot for blending in perfectly. Because embarrassment has a lifespan, but regret sticks around your whole life. So feeling dumb for an 8-minute YouTube video is nothing. Feeling like you wasted your shot at being yourself, of achieving your dreams, that'll haunt you at 40, at 50, at 60, till the day you are buried underground. Because most people aren't actually afraid of being judged. They're afraid of acknowledging what they want and then being seen go for it. Because everybody starts with nothing, and that's why not everyone can achieve it, because some of them stay at nothing. There's vulnerability in effort, the exposure of trying, and the risk of caring. Wanting something is dangerous. Because wanting means that you could fail. And failure is only, it will only humiliate you if you care about what the audience is saying. But if you finally get honest and admit that you want a life that feels different, then failure stops feeling shameful. It becomes proof of motion. You can't fail at something if you never try. But you also can't live a life that you were scared to start. Because people will always have commentary. They will always project. They will always hate. They will always misunderstand. And they'll reduce you to jokes and assumptions. Not because you're doing the wrong thing, but because they're scared to see someone live in a way that they don't have the guts to mirror. Because confidence looks like arrogance to insecure people. Freedom looks like insanity to fearful people. Risks look stupid to people who need guarantees before they move. In most of life, you won't have guarantees. You will take one step without knowing where the second one is. And that will happen so many more times than you think. So you just have to trust the step. Because other people's approval is a lagging indicator. It only comes after the leap, after the risks, after the years you took looking ridiculous with no followers, just for them to see your vision. Because nobody cheers when you're started up. They cheer during the reward, after you made it. But the reward is built in private, in doubt, in repetition, and in times that you don't know if you'll make it, because you won't until you make it. But you can't give up because you don't know if you'll make it, because you know you have enough heart and talent and grit that if you give 100%, you will make it. So why would you not start this day, right now, and give 100%? I need you to trust me when I tell you that you're not here to be liked correctly, and you're not here to be understood quickly. You're not here to be validated early. You are here to build a life that makes you feel something when you wake up in the morning. A life that you don't have to mentally escape from. And a life that feels like truth, not performance. Because imagine living at 70 or 80 or 90, walking around in shoes too small, living quiet on purpose, and keeping your voice in a box, declining your own potential out of the fear of raising eyebrows from strangers who never lose sleep over you. That's not safety. That's slow self-betrayal. You don't need everyone to get it. You just need enough belief in yourself not to abandon it the moment someone else really cares. Because the people who matter, the ones you haven't even met, or the friends, the collaborators, the people who feel like mirrors, they don't connect to the watered down version of you. They'll recognize the unfiltered you, the weird you, the loud you, the unashamed you, and they won't care. And what matters most is that you don't care. Sometimes you gotta make sure you're going on the right side, and sometimes you gotta acknowledge the others, but eventually you'll get right back on the right path. You have a tough time seeing, you'll figure it out. And you won't care what people think, because the world is full of careful, formatted, aesthetic approved people. But there's a shortage of alive ones. So be unafraid to cringe a little. Be unafraid to be too much. Be unafraid to start before you feel ready, because you won't. You will feel ready after you get started. So at the end of the day, the crowd doesn't remember who did it gracefully. The crowd doesn't remember the people who didn't chase their dreams. They remember who did it bravely. So when someone walks by and gives you a weird look and says that you're funny, or says a comment to try to humble you, they'll hate on you. They always will. And your brain might agree at times, thinking that you look ridiculous. That's when you have to remember that courage always looks stupid when people do something bold. But the world needs your attempts more than it needs your perfection. So don't care what they think. Chase after what you want, because you're not too late. You're not too much. You're not too embarrassing. You are practicing the exact life that most people will only daydream about. So let them watch. Let them question. Let them misunderstand you. You're not performing for them. You're becoming in front of them. And one day, when you're living proof of what happens when someone stops shrinking for themselves and chases their dreams, then that's the day that you'll be enough. And that's a day you won't regret, ever.